Hello, everyone. Good day from my end, and welcome again to One Global Movement Speak with Heart, where we are doing our very best to build the hopes and dreams of children, young people, and women worldwide from the hearts, building it with whatever resources we have. And we all know that we have something to contribute, no matter how small it is. We all do have it because we were born with those things. And so, thank you guys so much. Our Queen Nancy is here. And for those that might be busy doing other things, we thank God that there is a YouTube. They can always go there and watch on the YouTube. Oh, wow. We see DD, the Pork Dash. Thank you so much, sir.
Mhm.
Thank you guys so much for joining us here. Today is Friday. We wanna we wanna get done so that people can plan for their week, and maybe they are traveling up north if you're here like me, or they're doing something. So it's always a good thing to really maintain this time consistency so that people can also focus on themselves and other private things and other relationships that they have out there. So thank you guys again, and thank you so much again, Sister Yvonne, for always being that support that we so need and our children badly need in the world.
Thank you,
And
sister.
so
Thank you.
we were supposed to have been done. We're always behind. This is teaching us that when you're dealing with children, when you're dealing with human beings in general, things don't always have to be on a straight line. If things are
Hmm.
always on a straight line, then there is something wrong with that picture, because we are humans. We deviate, we walk in a zigzag way, and we want to make sure that we are treating ourselves and therefore our children that way, so that when children deviate from the norm or the line that we think in our head that that's what it's supposed to be, we still appreciate them because that's the way life is. So we're supposed to have been done with gender-based violence on the 10th.
10th. Yeah.
Yes. And then, just like yesterday, we were supposed to have been done with shadow adoption in November, but we're bringing everything forward because everything is important. So we
Watch the mic, sister. Watch your mic. Watch your mic.
okay, we are gradually doing everything. So, do you hear me now?
Yes, clearly. Yes.
So, today we're going to round up with gender-based violence, but that doesn't mean that it's going to end. No, because when you take a look at everything that we have been discussing here for more than a year, you realize that things come together. They are interwoven. Everything lies upon the other one. And
Yes.
so these things, these tenets are very, very important. And this is because these are natural laws. They come with what we call natural laws from the one that created us. Because if we truly know who we are, whose we are, what we have been called or born to do, and where we are going, we know our purpose, we know that these things rely on one another. And to really raise, to love, raise, and educate a child, we have to keep on repeating things. They are reminders. It's just like you cannot say, I prayed already, I will not pray tomorrow. You can say that. You cannot say, I ate today, I'm not going to be
Mhm.
able to eat tomorrow. That is not the way life is. And so when we focus inside of us, we are focusing on God, and we do those things. No matter what happens, we'll still embrace it and knowing that it is part of the journey. It is part of the journey. So we are in the Mantle of Hope Revolution, part 276, solidarity and a call to action against gender-based violence. This will be it for today for the 16 days from United Nations, but we're going to continue with a lot of things that are still part of this. So
Yes.
now I always like to just say something, because in the face of gender-based violence, we all know that silence is not an option. We know that, because you can't be watching something going wrong and you keep quiet. When you keep quiet, you're worse than the perpetrator of that act. So it is time for global solidarity to rise, for every voice to echo with justice. And you're doing so with respect, dignity, and love. You're not just doing it because you want to scream, you want to shout, because that is not going to help. It
Mhm.
is really that time for every voice to echo with justice, and for every hand to reach out with compassion and empathy, to touch a child, to touch a young person, to touch a woman. Because when you touch these categories of people, you must have touched the world. So we stand united. We here in One Global Movement, we stand united, committed to breaking the chains of oppression and creating a world where all children, all women, and young people are free to live without the fear of gender based violence. This is very important. And
Mhm.
together, when we come together, we are a force for change. Remember, unity, community, all of those things, or beauty in diversity, these are all the things that call people together. And so, together, we are a force for change. The cry of those suffering from gender based violence is a call to action.
Yeah.
Remember, the topic today is solidarity and a call to action. We are calling, we are pleading, we are asking that we must take action. So let us unite in our commitment to dismantle the systems of abuse, the systems of oppression, the systems of injustices, the system of unloving behavior, and offer support to survivors and advocate for a world where equality and dignity for all are non-negotiable. These are things that we are born with. We cannot begin to say, no, we are going to negotiate. How can you negotiate when somebody is abused? When a child is abused, a child depends on us. And when a child is abused, it's not a fault of their own. It's a
Mm.
fault of our own because we must have failed somehow. We must have given a gap, a loophole, and we did not know what we were doing. And then things begin to happen in a way that is not healthy for these young people. And so gender-based violence is not just a woman's issue. We know that. It's not just a woman's issue. It is a human issue. It is time to rise in solidarity together with those who have suffered in silence. Let our voices, our hearts, and actions become a powerful force for justice, healing, and transformation. The time to act is right now.
That's right.
Right now. If not now, ask yourself, if not now, then when? Then when? If not you, then who? Who do you expect it to do it? If not us, then who? These are the questions. You don't say, oh, tomorrow, I will do this tomorrow. I'm tired today. What if tomorrow another child is down again? What if tomorrow another woman is down? What if tomorrow is not even promised you and I? What if you don't even see tomorrow? So what did you do with today? So it is a call for action right in this moment. And thank God that we are doing that. But it's not enough. As we exit the show, we need to still go back into our families, our communities, and our countries, our villages, and continue. You can start by forming a youth organization with love. You can start by reading a book to a child, just from
Mhm.
a living room. You don't have to have a building. In your living room, start reading. Form reading groups to read to children among your own children. Form something. There are always something to be done. Welcome, Melanie. Thank you so much. And so, global solidarity means we are standing with every woman, every child, every marginalized individual who has endured the pain of gender based violence. So, together, we are not only breaking the silence, but building a future of hope, respect, and freedom. Freedom. Freedom starts with loving. When you love somebody, you are letting that person know that they are free to also love other people, but beginning with themselves. Because when you see what is happening around the world, it's as a result of the fact that we don't love ourselves first. And what we are giving out, that's exactly what we carry within us. We carry with us anger, jealousy, bickering, resentment, revenge, unforgiveness. All these negative baggages constitute exactly what is happening in the world. We think we can suppress, we can oppress, we can grab, we can lie, power, all of those things. We carry those things. But
Yeah.
there's always a way. We were born with all those emotions, but we were also born with resources to really mitigate those emotions. Like our sister always says here, we strike a balance in everything that
Must.
we do. So this
Yeah.
is very, very important. So let us, we are calling for action, compassion, and systemic change. Systemic change. Your system is where you begin. We're not talking about the government, your system, because it starts with you building that thing, that love. Love
Yeah.
is a systemic thing. When you have love within you, that is exactly what you're going to do. When you have the other
Yes.
things too within you, that's exactly what we're going to do. So, as a global movement, we, one global movement, as a global movement, we hold the power to transform the world. We do. Everyone does. But because we
Mhm.
are here together, we do hold it together. And the fight against gender-based violence is a collective responsibility. It is. We are
Yeah.
we are called to act. Don't just talk. As a matter of fact, I always like to remind myself, Yvonne, do it. Talk less and do it. Because I've
Yeah.
been called to be here to talk. I don't like to talk, but I have to do it now. Okay. So I
Yeah.
have to do it. Otherwise, I always like to just do the things and let people see it. And with calmness, with prayers, with high integrity, you do these things and let people see. So we are called to act.
Watch your mic. Watch your mic. It's gone wonky again. Please watch
Okay.
it.
Okay. Did you hear me now?
Yes.
So we are called to act, to speak, and to support with unwavering commitment. You are committed, say, under come rain, come sunshine, come whatever. Like I said, you can beat me, and I'm still going to stand tall within myself. That is
Mhm.
not going to change me because I was born tall within me. It's not a physical height. It's me.
Yeah.
I was born powerful within me. I was born with greatness within me. And you're going to see that greatness come out. When you take that kind of commitment, nobody, nobody can deter your efforts to do what you need to do. It is
Yeah.
only through unity, advocacy, and action that we will create a world where safety and dignity are the birthright of all of us. Safety and dignity. Remember that. And all of it always comes from love. When you love somebody, you don't want to hurt that person. When you love a child, you don't want to see that child being hurt, do we? We don't want that. And so that's what we are talking. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Who said that? Martin Luther King
Luther
Jr.
King. Yeah.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So the global call to end gender-based violence requires a united front
It
that
does.
stands up firm and tall. We rise not just for the victims or the survivors, but for the future generations who deserve a life free from fear,
Mm.
discrimination, oppression, and harm. Our action today shapes the world tomorrow. You know, all of these things is oppression, is
Mhm.
discrimination. That is what it is. We're not talking about me choosing Sister Yvonne over Melanie or choosing Melanie over Sister Yvonne. No, it has to start from within us, and then before we start doing those things, we are here in one global movement. We're not the same. But if we
Mhm.
choose to discriminate here, that is what constitutes gender-based violence. Exactly that. So this is so important that uh, we stand firm with solidarity, collective effort, with love and unity and action. You can't. We're not just talking. We want to begin to take those action. And we hear our panelists here and in the chat. They're always discussing ways that we can begin to do things. So, what is solidarity? What do you understand? Anybody that wants to define it, that's good too. What is solidarity? That's the question. We have to begin from there. So,
Mhm.
for one global movement, solidarity against gender based violence means standing united with the survivors and advocates and to advocate to end all the forms of violence against children, women, and young people, marginalized group. That's what it means. It embodies collective effort to raise awareness, education, and more education. And all the time, we have to raise awareness so that when these kids or us too, and even young boys, they come across this, they will know, say, oh, what can I put in place? What resources do I have that I can take out of myself and implement it so that to get away from this? So it embodies a collective effort to raise awareness, amplify voices. Don't keep quiet. Like Melanie, you heard what Melanie said the other day. I have taken the decision and be determined that I'm going to speak up and speak out if I
Yes.
see something that is not okay. That is the kind of determination that we are talking about here. And that's what we need here in one global movement. Let us amplify our voices and push for systemic changes that protect the dignity, safety, and rights of every individual, regardless of their gender. This solidarity is demonstrated through advocacy and education, spreading awareness, empowerment and support, offering resources like we are talking about, utilizing the abandoned buildings, looking for giving somebody food or a child a bowl, looking for clothing. All of those things we have them. Policy change and legal action. Where does it start? In your home. We're not talking about government policies here. You guys must know what is the policy, what are the values, what are the regulations in your home. What do you do so that when these children they get out there, they will know, and then we'll move out. Then we can start advocating in the villages or the chieftaincies, the kingdoms, and the royalties, and then we move out to the overall government, and then we move out to the world, the entire world. It begins with us. So this is so important that we talk about collaboration, working with global, national, and local organizations, like a lot of the organizations that we are talking here. I was going to ask the name of that organization yesterday, Sister Yvonne, but you left before time because I need
Oh,
to. I want to enroll one global movement and contribute in a lot of organization, because as you contribute, you're helping, but at the same time, you're learning, and we're also getting mentors so that they can know what we are doing, because we are a virgin here. We are growing our way here together. So,
yeah.
what does solidarity means to you, sisters? What does it mean?
Well, to me, it means pretty much what you said. It means coming alongside a cause to support it in any way that you can, whether it's just by speaking up, education, as you say,
Mm-hmm.
providing resources, advocacy, all those kinds of things, whatever it needs. You come with an open hand, ready to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes,
it's very simple to me what it is. You come
yes.
alongside a cause. That's what you do. Yeah.
Okay, Sister Bella, I know that you always have very important things to say here. Go ahead, Sister.
Yes, thank you very much, Sister Yvonne and Yvonne to Yvonne.
Yvonne.
Thank you.
Yeah, solidarity, it's a strength. Solidarity is standing together with a force. When we
Mm-hmm.
stand in solidarity, things happen. And I have a typical example, and it's hurting my spirit that happened right in on passive not too long ago.
Oh.
Hmm.
And I won't, because of ethics, I won't discuss too much, but it hurt me because it happened to me first, and then it happened to a couple of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is violating someone's right. Violence is not when you just strike someone. Violence is when you come across someone in human, like without their human rights,
Mm-hmm.
right? Was something they didn't ask for. And
Yeah.
this is violation, and that's a form of violence when you violate somebody's rights
It is.
in
Yes, it is.
in a very bad way.
Mm-hmm.
Those two
So
words are connected. Yes, you're right.
yes,
Yes.
so
Yes.
violating when, and then the thing is, there was a force, as we're talking about the strength. So there was a force, couple of
Hmm.
people,
Hmm.
and it got solved. But it still kind of struck me in the heart. It brought me back to my youth when these things had struck me, when it happened to me against
Hmm.
my right. And
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, I'm kind of buckled up inside, but it will go away.
That's okay, my sister.
I'll talk to you about it, Sister
We are
Yvonne.
here together.
Yeah.
We are here together.
Yeah.
So yes, we can definitely come alongside and make sure that doesn't happen to anybody else, because violation and violence, those are words that are pretty much the same root word, right?
Yes.
And it's always going against the person's will, and it's very wrong. And especially somebody who can't really defend themselves, that is even, as I like to say, insult to injury.
Yep.
Some people can fight back and you can't really step on them or whatever, but sometimes people are vulnerable, and then that's even worse.
Mm-hmm. And
You
a
know,
lot of time, not even sometimes, our children and women,
children are,
especially
yes,
girls, are
yes,
vulnerable every minute, every second of the day.
yep,
We
they
know
are,
this. They are vulnerable. Melanie, we are together, okay? And
yeah,
I feel so for you as well.
yeah, yeah.
So it is happening every minute, every minute, okay?
Speak into your mic, sister.
I don't know
I
what's
was,
happening with my mic. Let me see. Okay, I'm speaking to my mic now. See?
Okay,
Okay.
I.
Global movement. Solidarity is about creating that culture of respect, really respecting another human being, regardless of anything. We are all created in the same image by Almighty God. And we are all
Absolutely.
different in our own different ways, in our own unique ways, the way that God has created us. Your way is not better than mine.
It's just different.
Mine is not better than yours. The way
Just
you eat, the way you dress, the way you walk, the way you talk is not better than mine, and mine is not better than you. If we really come to this conclusion, there will be
oh, I
no
know.
violence,
Yeah.
there will be no violation, there will be no violence. This is so important. So it means a culture of respect, safety, and equality for everyone. That's what we mean here in One Global. Otherwise, we shouldn't be here talking about children. So where violence in any form is not tolerated. Violence in any form should not be tolerated. And please, we have to make our children and ourselves, people, comfortable. Like Melanie just said, that it is very uncomfortable. Now we already know that there is an issue there. And what do? We have to sit down with quietly attention and listen to these children, listen to the person that is talking without violating their right to talk. When somebody is speaking, you cut in. Sometimes I do that when I'm so excited, we are talking and laughing, I cut in and I'll be laughing so loud. But in serious issues, you let them speak and speak the way that it occurs to them without you trying to push it in a way that it doesn't occur to them. What is happening in the world now, the violence and violation, is as a result of the fact that things are being shuffled down the throat of our children and women. People think that what works for me has to work for you. People don't know that you learn, even us, we learn from the masters, or we learn from the mentors. When you learn, what does the mentor say? Add what you have on top of what you learn from me. That is what Mr. Ashbufara has said this thing several times. Take what I am doing into your various initiatives and do it, because in the end, it's all about serving humanity. Isn't that true?
It is.
And so the safety has to be there, equality has to be there, where violence in any form is not tolerated, and all people can live free from fear. Because a lot of people are fearful. My son is afraid. My son is fearful with certain things, and no person, no child should have to sit to think that, oh, I need to do this quickly just in case, because they're going to target me. We don't have to sit and think like that. And when children think like that, the parents, especially the mothers, they can't sleep. They can't do anything. They're waiting. Like me, I wouldn't go to bed until I know that my son is home and safe. One time I made that mistake. It was a mistake that I would never make anymore. So this vision aligns with One Global Movement's broader goals of eliminating hunger, illiteracy, poverty, and all forms of oppression. Because when you poison people's food, what is that? That's violence. You're violating their rights, their rights to food sovereignty. When you tell somebody, shut up your mouth, I'm your mother. When I say something, you listen. What are you doing? You're oppressing your own child. And they have the right to speak. They have the right to their language. You're oppressing them. A lot of other forms. So
Sister Mundih, you're going to have to fix that mic or stop moving around.
Okay, in order for us to really bring this home, take that action, I had to go and research on and highlight successful gender-based violence prevention models from other countries.
Yeah.
So I went into all the different countries in the world, because every country must have that. They should, even though they might have it, they're not implementing it right, but at least let it be there. And then we keep pushing ahead with what we are doing so that they can do it. So several successful gender-based violence prevention models from different countries can serve as valuable examples for One Global Movement in its efforts to support victims of gender-based violence. And so we have some models. Let us talk about the Nordic model. Nordic in Sweden. Nordic is Nordic model in Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Denmark. They applied. So what is their focus? You were asked, what is their focus?
What is their focus? We're not hearing you, sister.
Oh my God, what is going on?
There's a background noise.
Yes, there is.
Hey, this is such a terrible thing. Do you hear?
Now
No,
you're
it's
clear.
not.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And there is no noise here today. I don't know. Do you
Well,
see?
that's okay now.
Okay, I'm going to go so close to the computer now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you still hear me?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So their focus of these countries is to adopt a multi-sectoral approach. Multi means from different angles, because they are serving different people. That includes strong legal frameworks, support services for for victims or survivors and prevention campaigns. So what is the key elements? Their key elements are strict laws against gender-based violence and sexual violence. And then another one is they support services for survivors, including shelters, like we talked about before, and counseling. We talk about that, and legal aid. And remember, know where you go for counseling. It's not every counseling that is good. You need to weigh the option. Listen to your inner self. If it tells you this is the right way, you will feel it. And don't be afraid to try two or three
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you talk about the public education, which is what we are all about here. You can't feed a child without educating that child. You can help a survivor of gender-based violence without feeding them. They're not going to understand what you're saying. So everything centers around agriculture, food sovereignty, food safety, all of those things. So it's so important. And then public education campaigns, which we are going to be doing here in One Global Movement, aimed at changing societal attitudes towards violence. And we do it with men because remember, a lot of our men are suffering because they had trained them. Wait, let me see here. What is my phone? I want to make sure this phone is terrible. Let me see. What is happening here today?
It's
Wait,
Friday. It's the 13th.
do you still get it? Do you still get it?
What?
You know, you're
No,
okay.
no, you're good.
Okay. Ha.
Friday the 13th, that's right.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
So we need to do this in collaboration with all our men, our young people, and to try to make sure they know that it's not you don't have to bottle up your anger. You have to express yourself. You are a human being just like a woman. So we express ourselves instead of telling them uh man it or be a man, be a man. A man is a human being as well. So we all these Nordic also emphasize on prevention programs for children and young people to challenge traditional gender norms. Traditional gender, we're talking about violence here, where, for instance, female genital mutilation, which is so wrong, you know, it is still going on. And then you talk about breast grinding. And a lot of these rules are written to by the men to satisfy them. When you mutilate somebody, this is somebody created by God. That organ is there for a reason, and now you kill the desire in that person. That person is just there as a tool for you, which is not good. So, and then we talk about collaboration between government, NGOs, and community-based organizations, which is good. Do you guys have any organization that you want to talk about?
But I wanted to ask you quickly. I'm sorry, Sister Melanie. I want to ask you something quickly. You said you were researching the Nordic model, right, against DBV.
Yes.
But that last one that you mentioned. So some of the abuses are cultural because, correct me if I'm wrong, but what you just mentioned that would not apply there, right? The
No, it would not apply there, but here's the thing, it applies there in a different level. It can be
Yes,
just
yes. I know abuse is happening there, but I'm
yes,
saying sometimes it's specific, right? The
yes.
female mutilation is not going to happen there. I'm just asking. I want to know.
But let me tell you, you realize the dynamics of the war. Not
Yes.
everything that is done in every part of the world is being reported.
Ah.
It's not reported. And
Uh-huh.
people pick and choose to report what they want for reasons known to them. And I'm sure you and I, all of us here, we know some of those reasons.
Yes, we
And
do.
so if they write about it, it means that it's happening there as well.
Okay, that's what I was trying to ascertain. Okay, thank you.
Because,
Sorry, Sister Melanie.
right,
Go ahead.
they are serving the various factions of their community. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
be writing something that is not going to serve your people. So what is the essence of writing it? And if you're writing it, you have to quote who is going to serve, because you can't just write it in blank. Therefore, there's no use for that. So it is
Right.
happening everywhere. But the
Okay.
fact that it's not talk about it doesn't mean that it's not happening. It
Be-
is.
okay, because as we like to say, the world is shrinking, right? It's getting, and people are everywhere.
Yes.
All
Yes.
peoples are everywhere nowadays, you know? So yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
People
yes.
are living. Look at United States. All cultures of the world are here.
Everybody's there. Yeah, and here too.
It will happen.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, Sister Melanie, go ahead.
Yes, as I was saying, Sister Yvonne, you mentioned solidarity. When a survivor wants to break the silence, and like I said, it doesn't have to be face to face, or striking someone, or sexually abusing someone alone, that's violence.
Mm-mm.
Violating the right of one or two or more people, when we come together, and if one person might not want to to come forward with it because they're wondering what somebody else might think or what a group might think, but we don't know that until some one, two more come out and say, okay, or that happened to me. So then we create that force. That's when we stand in solidarity and we
Yeah.
bring it forward. And, you can advance that person
Yes.
kind of committed an act. Really, they didn't do it in action in your presence, but they committed an act. This is an act of violence. So when you come together and you can solve that problem. You don't solve the person's problem, but you can solve that problem by protecting the rights of other people who are with you on it,
Yeah.
and including yourself. So that is a
I,
right up. It come at the right time because I'm bottled up inside with
Yeah,
what,
we realize that. I'm glad you have Sister Mundih to talk to. But
yeah.
what I was going to say, violence, as you said, it's not just actually striking somebody. As some people say that's actually better for them. But violence can happen by bullying. Look at what they're doing online. They have all kinds of names for what they're doing there online. They take, excuse me, they take inappropriate pictures of somebody and they hound them with it and they shame them with it, or just gossiping about people. So violence is anything that strikes you at your heart. It doesn't have to do with physical,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's part of it. But people can be so mean. And I know Dr. Mundi is always saying that they're hurting too. I understand that. But why do hurting people have to hurt other people? Why?
Because we've not taken the steps to, we all hurt at one point or the other, but
Yes.
we don't have the tools that we can deal with the situation. Like Melanie has a tool. That's a powerful tool to say, I am just bottling up, I'm waiting to explode. I know you're going to explode on me, but I'm going to work on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on that, which is good. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is very cathartic to get it out. And when you find a safe space, you should definitely use it, because that is what we're advocating here for GBV, people of survivors. You
Yes.
must have that space. And as you were talking about counselors, go and see who resonates with you, right? Because maybe if it's a woman, a female, and she's been violated, she probably doesn't want anything to do with a male counselor. And you understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's her right. Because I
Yep.
know that that happens here in this people will
Yes.
ask for this kind of counselor that they want.
Yep. 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 Yep.
So the thing is, there is help, and we here in OGM just need to promote that by speaking out. That's all we can do.
We have a lot to do because building a safety nets and communities for this, because if you don't build a safe place, forget about it. They're going to
You
go
don't,
back.
yeah, exactly. Nobody will want to talk, as Sister Melanie was saying. They will want to come forward. They're watching around to see who will come
And
first. So
those
yeah,
abandoned buildings is going to be our gold mines. Okay.
it will be.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's a
absolutely.
gold mine because
And it's a oh, sorry.
go ahead.
It's a shame how we take people in confidence, we take people, comfort people, welcome them, and do, you've been friendly on a friendly basis,
Yes, yes,
with them as family of, wherever
yes,
we are. And
yes.
next thing
They
you're
betray you. They betray.
disappointed,
Yes, yes, yes.
disappointed in a big way.
That is why I'm always advocating, and Sister Money knows that you
Yeah.
must always be wise. I remember when our queen, little baby, Pavni, I always, when she gave her talk, they're nice, but you have to be wise about who you lean on.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be telling your story to every, in Jamaica, we say Tom, Dick, and Harry. You can't just be telling your story to every single person, because not everybody has that capability of minding your heart for you, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's not even more, it's not even that though. It's more like what somebody or particular people or person have done and affected a couple of people, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Ah,
and
okay.
make us feel uncomfortable,
Yeah,
so it is
yeah,
wrong.
it's
And
wrong. Yeah.
at first I think I was forgiving someone because this is my heart. But then I
Yes.
think I was shielding something that I should have let out. But I let it out in a way, but I take I probably took a bit too long with it, because thinking that, okay, people are people, and maybe once they say yes, forgive me, and then you continue on. But then when
Yes.
you hear the story, it's extending to other people, it
Uh,
hurts.
it
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 hurt.
hurts.
hurts.
I
So
think that's what you're saying, Anna. I thank God for my grandmother. I thank God for my uncle that I also grew up with from the age of 3. Say, don't, just like the scripture says, don't let the sun
On your
set without with something. How do you say it, Sister Yvonne? You
It's
know
your
better.
anger. They're talking about your wrath. Don't let the
Yeah,
sun
yeah,
go. Yeah, your wrath,
yes, without
which is
expression.
anger. Anger is
yeah,
wrath.
and
Yes.
yeah,
Sister Melanie, we talk about giving people time or chances. Sometimes all of us do, but these people, they are also in their own mental space,
yes,
I, I know.
because that's why hurting people hurt others, because they're in their own mental space, that what they've said, it's going to hurt us, of course, but their
yeah,
own. We have to really tell ourselves, because a good person, a person that has it well, but not that has it everything 100%, a person that knows how to say things, how to walk through these emotions, will not be wanting to violate another person. You see that?
Exactly.
So when they
Yes.
do that, it hurts, it pinches, because we are humans.
yeah,
But let us come back to that space to know that, you know what, I am going to get my happiness. I'm going to get my sanity regardless. And I'm
Yes.
going to make it in such a way, because if we get mad again to a lot, of course, we're going to get mad for a little bit, because we are humans. But let
Yes.
it go, because those people will learn a lesson. Because if
yes,
you do that, because that's what they want to see happen to you. And when you demonstrate that, oh, that's what makes them to thrive.
Yes.
Talking about, you said violence is not about sexual violence or beating
Not
or hitting
necessarily.
or killing
Yes.
somebody. Psychological and emotional violation is the worst thing you can ever give a person.
Yeah.
I have
That's why
suffered.
I'm saying some people say they'd rather have the scars than have the trauma to the heart, the psyche. You know what I
okay,
mean?
yeah.
Because this,
Let me give a clue.
yeah,
Just presenting yourself sexually to someone who has no interest in you,
yeah.
and doing it to a few people in a group, with, you know what I mean, this is wrong, and we had to put a stop to it, and no longer is in that, kicked out, gone, kaput. So,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
in the beginning when it started, like I said, forgive me, I had forgiveness in my heart, and I let it sit there, but I mentioned it to someone. It went on, thinking it was only me. It went on to other women, and it's women again, women of violence. So the
Yes.
young people that are listening, young girls, young boys, yes, it does happen even to adults.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
then at the end, at the end, still that they don't know what they're doing. They don't know why we kick them out. They don't know, those kind of things. It is upsetting. It's
Hmm.
gone. I mean, it's gone out of my mind. But I'm thinking sometimes we always take the blame because we
Yes.
didn't speak fast enough. But
Yes.
you spoke, but you spoke to one party. You don't want to go ringing the bell,
Yes.
right? But
I
you're
know.
thinking, like I said, you're shielding and forgiving and moving on, but it's not moving on. They're going on to the next, and to the next, and to the next. So that's
I,
where we stand in solidarity. And that was a prime
yes.
example
Yes.
yesterday. So I'm glad
Yes.
that topic came out. And that's why you see I came on the, it's still kind of here, but
You
I'll wash it out.
and I are going to
No,
fight.
these are some powerful topics we're dealing with, and that's why Sister Mundih
Yeah,
is always saying
yeah.
we're going to come
Thank
around and
you.
around again because these
And,
are,
and I'm
yeah,
going to fight with you guys. Let me just be honest, because I'm human, right?
yeah,
Because I'm sometimes, for some reason, I'm going to think in my mind, I would
yeah,
the way things appear to me, and instead of saying, you know what, yes, this is the way it comes to me, but what about the other people? What about them? So I have to be able to position my mind in that space that says, okay, I do like this, let them do like that, let this other one do like that. But when we come together, we
Yeah.
will find a common ground. We strike a balance, you know.
mm-hmm,
Yes.
mm-hmm,
So I have made up my mind, and thank God to my grandmother trained me, because I spent a long time as a child. As a child, it's understandable, but as an
mm-hmm.
adult, no. We have to find ways to break these circles of violence and violation. We
We do,
must,
we
because
do,
we are feeding those people if we don't
yeah,
do this. Sometimes
yes,
they think, when I used to sell self corporate America, they said, "Oh, this one, it looks like something is wrong with her. Why is she always excited?" They're gonna say things to me that some people will get upset. They start fighting. I don't. I just laugh it up. Then I open my book. I'll be reading. Then they get upset. They get upset. So after some time, they'll leave me alone. My grandfather taught me to do that. Oh, he said, "Oh, you're stupid." I said, "Oh no, I was created to be so smart, very smart."
Yeah.
My ex-
And,
Yes. Yes.
and can
When some people go ahead.
can I just say, I know it's women and women, girls, but can I say we should get the men involved? Because
Yes.
when men are involved, like Prime yesterday, when men are involved, one or
Yes.
two of them, even
Yes.
if it's two, then they have a even not a higher power, but they give more strength to what's happening to solve it, because it's just not tolerated, so the men's voices should be heard as well when it comes to solidarity.
Yes.
Together the male and the female make,
Yes,
join
that's what we
efforts.
keep encouraging them.
Mm-hmm.
Please come on it, because to be fair, and if we respect nature, which is Almighty God, the men are the powerful, physical, strong pillars behind us. You can't do without that man
Yes.
behind you.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes.
like our managing director said, no, I'll be in the chat checking. Yes, that is very good. We encourage men that will be that consistency that we have here. Doesn't mean that you should have to be here every day. We want to hear from you. If just talking, like it's like a mother raising a female, I mean a male child, I'm taking from my own experience,
Yes.
raising
Yes.
a male child without the father there, a good father, of course, that
Yes.
child will not grow up to understand wet dreams. That child will not grow up to understand the things that the father is supposed to be teaching that child. It's the same thing too with the woman. If I'm having a daughter, and for some reason I don't want to take care of my own daughter, the daughter is left with the father. What happens? That father would not know how to help her to take care of her female parts, because we are wired differently. So this is what we are talking here. We encourage the men. When the men come, society changes very quickly. Take for
Yes.
instance, when I'm taking from in my culture, my father has a huge compound. When my father passed, it was just like there was nobody in that compound anymore. The man's presence, it tells a lot in the world. It tells
Mm-hmm.
a lot in the home, in the family. So we encouraging men, please come here, because
Yes.
let it not just be it's just these women here. Please, we encourage,
Well,
and if you see any
Sister,
person, go
yeah,
ahead.
I know that you're going to be in touch with our. I think he's a very strong person, very powerful person, Mr. Samuel. So you can
Yes,
always encourage him to. He must have good friends like himself. They want to come and tell their stories. We're gonna be on his case. Find people and bring them here or send them here.
yes, 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 yes. And some of our ambassadors, young ambassadors or senior ambassador, they'll be coming like my son. This is part of what every time that he comes home, he has to do something. Even
There you
if he
go.
needs to come and teach a math problem here, you are
Yes,
letting the other children know that you don't have to be afraid of math. Math does not hurt. You just have to know the principle. You see, I am doing it, but everything takes time. So we're going to really be encouraging, because this is a world thing.
yes, it is.
Everybody has to get involved here. So I
It,
was going to talk about this organization in India, and I hope Sir AP is in the chat. This is for you and as
he's not here yet.
this-
He's not here
our
yet.
brothers and sisters from India, the One Stop Center India.
Oh,
What
one
is the
stop.
focus of that? The
It's
one,
called that.
yes, the One
One
Stop
stop.
Center India.
Okay.
India's one stop centers with an S. India's one stop centers is OSCS.
Mm-hmm.
Integrated centers that provide victims of gender based violence with comprehensive support. That means
Okay.
total support, including medical, legal, and psychological assistance. And so,
Fantastic.
what is the key elements there? A single point of contact for gender based violence survivors, providing a range of services under one roof. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
one-stop shop for everything, right? And then
Okay.
confidentiality and a supportive environment for the survivors to report cases of violence. And confidentiality, brothers and sisters, we know that we say, oh, I can just tell it to my wife or my husband. I can just tell it to my child. Please don't. Please don't. Because when you tell it, their own way of feeling. They're going to be empathetic or sympathetic. They want to say it to see what they can get to help that person. And so
Yeah.
it's spread. So let us really, that is why a lot of these survivors, they are ashamed to come out with their stories,
Yeah.
because we
Yes.
really don't truly keep things confidential. So we want to maintain that. And then what does the India's One Stop Center do again? The coordination between policy,
Policymakers.
legal aid, healthcare providers, and NGOs. And we can
Ah.
do that too. We can go here and
Mm.
with some of
Right.
the survivors that are hearing us, even come, we can go. Me, myself, I have been advocating for people. I will take them, drive them to the hospital. I will take them for resources. If their kids are acting out, they don't know what to do. I will
Mhm.
say, when you give me a written permission, I will come and stand there for that child. Or the
Okay.
child is being discriminated in school, I say I can speak on behalf of that child if you give me a written consent. And I've been doing that. I
Yes.
go and we speak, but we speak nicely in a friendly environment. We're not fighting a war. And they
Yeah.
will come to realize that this child is not a problem, is because the school system doesn't have that resource to understand this child. Sometimes it's
That's
the
true.
courses that are
That's
boring.
that's
It's not
true.
because the child has attention deficit hyperactivity. The courses are boring. The moment you discover what the child needs, you realize that this is one of the best students that you have. So
Absolutely.
with those things, with the way the world is, people are so they are so much buried into anxiety, worries, and other things that they don't focus on what matters. And we need to.
Hmm.
Sometimes I
Yeah.
have anxiety too, just so you know. But
Everybody.
I have to come to that point where I said, nope, I'm not going to have let this take control of me. And
That's
then we
right.
talk about the United States. I can't talk without talking about my country. The
Yeah.
raise the age, the raise the age campaign in the United States.
It's the age.
What does it focus on? This model aims to prevent and address the vulnerability of young girls. I'm happy,
Mm-hmm.
young girls in conflict with the law, who may also be survivors of JBV. Remember, these girls, they are in conflict with the law, not because they don't respect the law. When you have been abused, you have become a different person.
Yeah.
You speak
Yes.
differently, behave differently. And if people don't understand you, they will take you for a troublesome person. They can even jail you or put you
True. True.
behind bars. So we
Yeah.
need to understand this. Regardless of somebody screaming, I've trained myself. Yeah, I can let you scream. Yeah, I will just keep quiet and let you scream. And then
Yeah.
after that, I know that, are you going to scream forever? No, you're going to calm down. And then we're going to rethink things over. So, what
Yeah.
is the key elements of this? The legal reform to prevent the criminalization of young victims of violence. Criminalization, because a lot of them, before, they would throw them behind bars in prison, incarcerate them for long periods of time without really knowing the root cause of their behavior. So
Mm-hmm.
providing alternative justice approaches such as restorative justice that focus on the needs of the survivors. What can we restore? And then programs for early intervention, education, and empowerment to help young girls avoid becoming victims or perpetrators of violence. I will say one thing here, and this applies for everyone and everywhere in the world. We must try to understand the background of every person,
Yes. Of
and
course.
even the language too. We must create concessions for that. Because if we are helping somebody, we really don't know the background, we will not be able to help them with the right resources. And we just think that, oh, I speak English, so everybody else should be able to understand that. That is why we have interpreters. You don't want to help somebody that is leaving your office or your treatment center without really embracing the fact that, yes, this help is coming through. What is happening in the world is as a result, especially even here in our diverse country, United States. I know that Cameroon is diverse. I'm lucky to be a child of two nations or even all nations. I'm lucky to.
Yes. Yes.
So, but
Yes.
we need to be able to understand. Okay, Melanie comes from here. Sister Yvonne comes from here. Okay, how do people there behave? It's easy. Go. The world is like a global village now. Just go Google and read about. Before you start treating somebody, before you start helping somebody, you need to know. And that's why when you go to the hospital, a doctor, when they say, "Did your grandmother have this? Did your grandfather have this?" They are trying to find that history so that they
Yes.
can also help
Yes.
you. It
Yes.
might be for other ulterior motives, but me, I know that when you're finding out something, you're trying to know, is this a pardon? What can be taken to break that pardon? What can we do?
Absolutely.
So we
Yes.
need to do those kind there's a lot of other global alliances that we can talk about, but it's a whole lot and lot of them here, which we are going to be using this as we continue to do our let me it would not be fair for me to talk without talking about one in Africa, because I am an African. Charity begins at home. You see,
Mm-hmm.
the gender-based violence prevention network in Uganda.
Mm.
What does it focus on? It focuses on a violence prevention network which connects various stakeholders, which like governments, organizations, and churches and everything, including local communities like the chieftaincies and the chindas that I was talking about yesterday, law
Mm-hmm.
enforcement and NGOs, which addresses JBV comprehensively. Remember, some of these areas, like not like in the United States here, where they monitor everything, their surveillance is there, they can easily carry out search and research and find out what happened in this case. Some of those, some places don't have that
They
facility.
don't have it. Yeah,
Bet
they
you
won't.
Cameroon, where I was born, doesn't have, and therefore you will hardly hear them reporting about the violence that is happening to women and children. You see that?
Right. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, what is the key element here? Community based awareness campaigns to inform people, whether it is through the drums, whether it is through writing tango. We can write now, we have the internet and all of those things to
Yeah.
inform people about their rights. You have
Yes.
right, and we need to teach these rights to people because some people are afraid.
Yeah.
If I say so, they'll implicate me. But if they know that you know you're right, you are humble, you're respectful, you're not just going to be talking anyhow. They will respect you and they'll help you. And then they train for law enforcement and healthcare providers on how to handle gender-based violent cases with sensitivity and
Right.
professionalism. Very
Yes.
important.
Very
And then
key. Very key. Yes. Because as I say, you don't want to add insult to injury because some people actually makes the victim because when you're fresh from it, you're the victim, you're the survivor afterwards, but they actually make the victim to be feeling like they're part of the problem. That's what some
yes,
people do when they're not professional enough. The questions they ask, just the behavior that they have, and then now you clam up. That's what you're going to want to do. You're not going to want to open up when
yes.
somebody's already judging you and making it seem as if you have something to do with
But
it.
even
So
your
yeah,
looks, the looks on your face, they're not
yeah,
going to open up
they
when they
won't.
see
They
some.
won't.
They're not. They'll
They won't.
freeze.
They
They will
won't.
just freeze. I will
Yeah.
freeze myself. I
There
will
you
really
go.
freeze too. Because
Yeah.
if I want to say something, the way I see, I just don't want to do it anymore. So I just go or I divert the conversation.
Yes.
It
Yes.
happens
Yes.
to everybody, not even just to them. So
No,
what
everybody, nobody wants to be rejected. Everybody, yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
what
So
I came out with as recommendation, which you guys will agree or you add on to or you subtract, is what are the
right.
recommendations for one global movement against gender-based violence? Multi-sectoral approach. That is very good.
That is right.
Sectorial. And then we're
Yes.
involving other people, NGOs. We are learning from other people. We involve the government. We talk
Hmm.
about like we emphasize on men and boys must be present. You see,
Yes.
that is
Yeah.
another thing. And then we talk about what is our own legal reform right here in One Global Movement. It doesn't have to be the law, but we are doing this in respect of the law because there has to be a law that governs the whole country. But first of
Yeah.
all, here we know that we are mothers, we are fathers. First, you have to nurture you with love. Number one, when you nurture a child with love, then you are also teaching that child to with tools that will withstand all of these things. So that one, and then legal reform and protection. We can also consult that. Public awareness campaign, support services. We have them. We have them. We already talk about all of those things. So there is a lot of things that I wrote here, like a campaign that we can carry out someday, which I will be sending to our professional editor to look at those things to see which campaign can we focus on. I have written about 5 campaigns we would pick and choose, or we can execute them alternatively, just alternate
Hmm.
them and do it. So
Okay.
yeah, there's a lot. So let us appreciate our audience. If you guys have any other thing, then we can also do
Oh,
that, right?
Sister Melanie can go. I'm done talking.
Yeah. What about by the time Unpassive comes and we have, say, whatever platform we start with, whether it's O Connect
Mhm.
Okay.
and the same way we have in public, the speakers, like it doesn't have to be an official from the government, but people who have taken these courses, and they are people who have even been survivors themselves.
Yes.
Like people like us as well, like be on a panel,
Hmm.
like in on passive, like
Yes.
O Connect, welcome them. And it doesn't
Yeah,
have to be a whole group, like two people, three people, and they come and you get a group together, Sister Yvonne and Yvonne Finn, and I can bring one or two people, and then John, whoever, bring their own, and then together on the panel we can have a forum,
yeah.
Yes.
And
an
they
That
O
can share.
Connect forum.
would be
They can.
wonderful all the
They
time.
can.
Yeah,
They can
What we are
share.
doing
Yeah.
here, it's all happening. Like there is a teen challenge here. Um, you when you bring those kids from there, they will come. They will come
Sure.
with permission. There's a lot that we can do because we want that variety so that it can fit everyone here. That is such a beautiful idea. We will
We
do
want.
that.
Yeah, we want everyone to have a voice. Everyone.
You can even
and
do
it,
it in a government institution. You
yes,
tell the SDO or the mayor, and this is what I am doing. I need people. Who can you give me to come and speak on this forum on these issues? The
Yeah.
local radio stations too. That's a good thing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's a
Absolutely.
good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, my dear. It's time to appreciate your audience, so you can go off and do your
Melanie is
thing.
gonna smile very soon. Smile for the camera.
You're back with the pictures, are you? Oh
it's
my lord!
Friday the 13th.
Always, always. You guys don't even know that I'm doing it, but I do it.
Stop it.
My Friday the 13th smile. Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay.
There. Okay. Now, greetings everyone, and thanks for joining us again today. Please help us with today's topic: solidarity and a call to action against gender-based violence. Thank you so much. And Nancy, thank you, thank you, thank you. How are you? Thank you so much for always helping in the background and really, really putting forth the big thumbs up. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
thank you so much, Sir DD the Poke Dash. How are you? Thank you for being the support we need here in One Global Movement. Thank you. And of course, our Melanie Mukamugema and Sister Yvonne are always here on the panel when they can.
Mhm. Yes.
And Sir Nixon Mamba, how are you, sir? We miss you, but happy holidays and thank you so much for joining us here today. We appreciate you. And we go here. Nancy says, gender based violence is very important and interesting topic. Let's put together to acknowledge the situation and do something to eradicate it in our community and our society.
Yep.
Yes. And we can
Absolutely.
start little, little, just with
Mhm.
you. What are you doing? Look around you. What can you do? Maybe
Yep.
arrange like a reading group or just maybe share your supper. Call,
Anything.
go to the neighbors and said, I would like to invite you guys for supper or the children, then they
Yep.
come. And then this
Yep.
is what we are doing. You talk about it. And then would you mind during summer they can come to my garage and we form a reading class? Or I
Uh-huh.
know how to help I know how to help with math or whatever you can help. Then this is how we bring people together, you
It
know.
is.
And then
Yep.
we have Maxie P. Smith. Thank you so much. Thank you. And let's go down here. My phone is ringing, calling me quickly. Hashtag OGM, uh, OGM against gender based violence. Hashtag abolish gender based violence. Thank you so much. Nitai, how are you? If you're new here, you're welcome in this family. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Come again and encourage other people. Hello, Cecile Wire. Happy holiday. How are you? Thank you so much, sir, for supporting us here. Solidarity means coming alongside to support a cause in any and all ways you can. Education, resources, and advocacy. Thank you. Thank you
Mhm.
so much. And let's go down here. I just want to. Yeah. Hello, good time. How are you? Thank you, brother, for always being here with us. We highly appreciate you. Families, today is Friday. Let's give ourselves a big thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yay, we made it. Subscribe if not yet. The notification bell, share with the families and friends with love. And this is
Yes.
our link. Every time you go on Facebook, try to give the big thumbs up and follow if you can, please. Thank you so much. And we have Ledjaga. How are you? Thank you so much for being with us here today. We highly appreciate you. Then You much thank you much, Mr. Ash, your wonderful family and amazing team and families for the powerful job you are doing. God bless you. Hashtag on passive for
For humanity. Thank you. Mhm.
thank you so much, Ledika. Thank you. And let's go here. The managing director was here. Yeah. My apologies. I've just been listening. That's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just want to just go like this, just coast up because of the call, but I have to do this. Okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Glad that you're listening. And hello, John. Managing Director, glad you are with us. Happy Friday, the 13th. And lastly, hashtag on passive with good time. Welcome, Sir John Barilla. Thank you guys so much. And I'm going to say something here, an announcement. On the Monday, the 23rd, we're going to just be doing what we are doing. And then 24th is celebration of Christmas here in One Global Movement, where some of the ambassadors are going to be here. Those that are able to record, they can record and send, and then we just watch. And then after that, we will have for One Global Movement, we'll go to the new schedule, which is going to be Wednesdays and Fridays live only. The other
Yes.
3 days are going to be recorded, and we put it here so that we can focus on other things that need our attention fully without
Mm.
cutting off. Okay, guys? So
Yeah.
so we will start that new schedule, and I will keep reminding you so that we know, so that we are all in sync with one another. So thank
Right.
you guys so much for being here today. I really highly appreciate you. Happy holidays as you keep preparing for the holidays, for the welcoming of 2025. One Global Movement is going to, a lot of things are going to be online to talk about 2025 and what our next steps will be. Uh,
Mhm.
Hey, guys, give us a closing. I always like to throw it back to you guys. Thank
Go ahead, Sister Melanie. I'll just let you have your day. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm saying to the young as well as the older,
Mhm.
whenever you become that victim, survivor, victim
So,
to survivor of violence,
yes.
whenever you spot something has occurred, don't keep it in silence. Don't, don't sleep on it. Actually mention it to at least one or two people so they are witnesses and they
Mhm.
can say yes, they can vouch at the
Yeah.
time, yes, you did mention.
Yeah.
And at the
Yeah.
time that it's happening, consult the person, per, I don't want to say perpetrator, but the
Yeah.
person who's involved in that harassment stuff.
Uh-huh.
Consult them immediately. Don't wait for too long because when it goes too long, that person tend to be the innocent person, you know, not knowing what they have done that was so wrong,
Yes.
Yes.
and then it can cause havoc. It can
Yes.
cause, especially if, one person stays silent, but the other one is lashing out. It's not a good thing. And
Absolutely.
yeah, if we belong to a family, let's get together and stand up.
Yes.
Yes.
Solidarity is, as I said, strength. So we stand together as one against
Yes.
what is happening.
Yes.
And yes, and you can confront without, as Sister is saying, we're not talking about yelling and screaming and being in anybody's face, but people
Yeah.
wrongdoing must be confronted, or
Yes.
else, or else it keeps escalating. When people
Yes.
think they've gotten away with something that's wrong, they think it's okay. Eventually, they think it's okay. It is not okay to do wrong ever.
Mm-mm. Mm.
So we confront absolutely in a nice way, firm and nice.
Yes. Solidarity and action is one of the mottos of One Global Movement. Let us do that. And thank you guys so much for contributing here into the lives of children, women, and young people and families worldwide. Until next week, I wish you a fantastic, fun weekend.
Bye,
And
everybody. Have a good
Uh,
weekend. Okay, thank you, Sister Melanie. All week you've been
you're
on here.
welcome.